Namaste, angels. I'm here to do the reading for Monday, April 10th. And before I do it, I want to just quickly, for those of you who've never heard any of these stories, go over how I came to be sitting in this chair. Because there seem to be still people who want to um, challenge me constantly. I don't know why. I mean, do you do this to the people who, there's 10,000, I don't know how many people on YouTube, people that aren't even qualified to be doing what they're doing, certainly not teach or anything like that. And I don't think that they get what I get. I know that there's other people who um, claim to be channeling too, somewhat famous people, that they are reincarnations of, people from days of old, and they write books and they, sell stuff, and everyone just goes, "Ooh, you are really," and doesn't give them a hard time. Now, they don't look like me, and I've looked like me all my life, so I'm aware that we have to be at least twice as good. I get it. Um, but it's still not only insulting but boring, for people who like didn't even put any effort into trying to do like some research to try to come at me. I have studied, and not for this, not for the sake of reading tarot, certainly, just as part of my life. I have studied Christianity, I have studied Judaism, I have studied Islam. You know how? I'll tell you how real quick. Firstly, I am African American, for those who don't know, and Native American. My mother is Cherokee, Catawba, and black. Which to me the whole thing is black, and to her too. But I'm just trying to clarify for you guys. She's black. She's a black, person from here, like a true American. She's really from here, because she was either descendant of people who were brought here as slaves, or people who were here before anybody else got here. That's from where we come. Now, that side of the family in South Carolina was African Methodist Episcopalian. And I've told the story about how my great great grandmother was one of 9 sharecroppers who bought a bunch of land and built a school and a church on it. The school isn't there anymore. It was a 1-room schoolhouse, kind of like a Little House on the Prairie, but the church is still there. I would imagine it'll always be there. It's called Foundation Church in South Carolina. So that's that. But because of my mother's background, and I guess because my father, was cool and hip. I mean, they both were, right? The typical 60s, 70s type. Wore dashikis and all that kind of stuff. They wanted to give me an African name, and I had what is considered both an African naming ceremony and a native naming ceremony. Both cultures perform this ceremony. So they hold the baby up, they give it a name. The baby doesn't have a name for first several days. I didn't have a name until the 11th day. I didn't have a name for 10 days. Yes, 11. That's when I finally got my name. Mariama is my birth name. That's my government name. I didn't start using it just to do tarot or just to, make claims that I was Mary or a Mary or anything like that. I am truly a Mary from the day that I got here. Well, the 11th day. At baptism in a Catholic church, so we left the AME Zion, or at least my parents did. I mean, we still, whenever we go to South Carolina, still attend that church. But here, they just didn't. My father had been raised Seventh-day Adventist, so another sect of Christianity. I was baptized in the Catholic Church, and my godmother at baptism was Jewish, she's still Jewish. um, she is the person who went into the church. Now, she wasn't supposed to be able to do this, but because I was being groomed for what's happening right now, God allowed it, obviously, for a Jewish woman to walk into a Catholic church and basically just sign a paper saying, yes, I'm going to do whatever it is I'm supposed to do. And they said, okay, because really what's supposed to happen is that they got to send you to classes. She would have never been allowed under normal circumstances as a Jewish woman to be my godmother. That was like, no way. You have to also be Catholic yourself. You got to prove it. You got to show your baptismal certificate, your own confirmation certificate, all that kind of stuff. She didn't have to do any of that. She was divorced. I mean, it would have been a big mess, but it just flowed because God wanted it to. And she's my godmother. So that's how I knew about Christianity and Judaism. And then fast forward to when I got older and met the man that I would later marry and have children with. His grandmother owned Mosque Number 1 in New York. She owned it. She owned the building, she owned the mosque. So we went to mosque every Friday night. And we went to church every Sunday morning. And we raised our children like this. Our children learned Arabic before services on Friday afternoons. The imam taught them. So this is how I know about the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible. Now, I skipped a big part. When I was 11 years old, I told you about when I was 11 days old, but by the time I was 11 years old, I had decided I wanted to be a nun, a Catholic nun. So much so that I started the process. It wasn't just talk. It was for real. And similar to how Jewish children, have a bar or a bat mitzvah, depending upon whether they're male or female, Catholic children go through confirmation. It's one of the sacraments. And you do that around 12, 13, just like, the bat or bar mitzvah. So here I am at 11, preparing for it, having decided I wanted to be a nun. By the time I was 12 and going through confirmation, I was really on that path. And so I asked Sister Marie Trinita to be my godmother for confirmation. I could have used my godmother that was existing, but again, I wanted to be a nun for real. And so I had pivoted toward this whole thing. And so I asked an actual nun to please be my godmother. That's how deep into it and serious about it I was. She said yes, of course. So for confirmation, Sister Marie Trinita is my godmother. Or was. I'm sure she's passed away now because she was old then. But this is how I know what I know. And, like all the rest of you, some of it's from other lifetimes too, that I know additional stuff. And some of it just comes in. I'm claircognizant and clairvoyant and everything, clairaudient. So it comes in. And this is from where I get it all. With me, there's no act. I'm not here to compete with anybody. This is not what I would have necessarily chosen as a profession for myself. Certainly not what I had put myself on a track to do. I'm well educated, college educated. I have 2 degrees. I'm working on a 3rd right now. I expect to graduate in June. I don't have to do tarot. But God chose me to do this. To teach light workers. To help them with their unions. To help them to find the light. And him. And her. That's for what I was chosen. So that's what I'm doing. And that's how I know what I know. God tells me because he wants me to know. She wants me to know because she wants me to tell you guys. I can't speak for anybody else, but this is what I'm doing here. I promise you, I could be doing much better things in terms of, the earthly and the 3D. Really out there making money somewhere, not telling people it's between them and God whether or not they give me money for a reading and stuff like that, because God's going to take care of me anyway, which he does. He absolutely does. I still live in Manhattan, even though I don't work anywhere other than for him, her. I have valets to bring me my car, all that kind of stuff. But I just work for God from home. That's it. And I get paid or not by the earthly. but I get taken care of by him all the time. So that's why that Three of Pentacles shows up for me, at least in my reading, my personal ones, personal spreads I do on me alone. But yeah, I'm the HNIC. I'm Beyonce, you know. I'm Steph Curry in the kitchen right now. I'm LeBron. I'm Ali. I'm Jordan. I'm Mike Tyson. Am I getting it across? I am chosen to do this, and I'm the best at it. I say that as humbly as I possibly can, because I don't want to sound like I'm embarrassed to be me. I'm not going to deny being me. This is my real life. This is not just YouTube for me. And I am not a tarot reader. I'm an angel. I'm a seraph. And that's why I'm here doing this. So I hope that this time it's clear, although I understand that there's constantly people that are new, and the devil's constantly sending people. I don't know why they still send them to me, other than, because of who I am. But at the same time, I'm not afraid. So it's kind of like wasted on me, because they need fear in order to feed it. And they're not going to get that from me. I'm kind of excited about it because that's what God says for me to do. Matthew 5:10. We said that's what he says for all of us to do. Matthew 5:10 through 12. He says, "Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." You know where the kingdom of heaven is going to be? Right here. Because he also says in the scriptures that he's merging heaven and earth at the end of all this, when he creates the New Jerusalem. So it's part of the whole thing. So when that kingdom is here, that New Jerusalem, what he's saying is these other people are not going to be welcome there. They will be shifted to alternate planes of reality. That's going to be the quote-unquote hell, or that's what quote-unquote hell is. It's an alternate plane. It's not a fun place to be. We're going to be at a really good place. Right here. But here is going to be unlike it is now. We're going to be open to that new reality. We're going to be able to see that the other dimensions that we're blind to right now. So he also says, "Blessed are you when they revile and persecute you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets who were before you too." So, I don't feel bad about it. I feel glad. Just like I said last week, I totally get what Malcolm meant about chickens coming home to roost. How it never made him sad. It only made him glad. Because it's people, beings, energy, doing what it does. And that's what I'm doing. Okay, with that, I'm so happy to be able to do the reading. I apologize that I even had to not go straight into the reading. But it is what it is. I was challenged again this morning on my own page by somebody with a perverted, warped view and a lack of knowledge about the scripture. And it was insulting. All right, so anyway, let's get to the actual good stuff. In the year 1407, Lama Deshin Shepka visits the Ming Dynasty capital at Nanjing and is awarded the title Great Treasure, Prince of Dharma. 1516. First Jewish ghetto was established. Venice compels Jews to live in a specific area. 1858, or 13, or 4, or 1111, Big Ben, a 13.76, so 1313, tone bell, is recast in the Tower of Westminster. The year and the tone of the bell, 13, 13, 13, or 1111, 1111, 1111. 1912, which is also 13, or 4, or 1111. RMS Titanic set sail for Southampton for her maiden and final voyage. 1945, Allies liberate the first Nazi concentration camp in Buchenwald, which is now Czech, or the Czech Republic. 1972, the U.S., USSR, and 70 other nations agreed to ban biological weapons. 1998, or 999, The Good Friday Belfast Agreement for Northern Ireland is signed by the British and Irish governments. Did you know? Safety pin is patented by Walter Hunt in New York City and sold for $400 on April 10th in the year 1849, which again is 1304 or 1111. There's a lot of them today. Famous birthdays: Matthew C. Perry, George Arliss, Harry Morgan, John Madden, Steven Seagal, and Haley Joel Osment. Famous weddings: 1848, British influential art critic and social commentator John Ruskin marries Effie Gray in Perth, Scotland. It's later annulled. 1902, physicist Robert Millikan, who was 34, weds Greta Blanchard. 1935, Nazi politician Hermann Goering, who was 42, weds Emmy Sonneman, who was 42, same age as him, in Berlin. 1938, NFL quarterback Sammy Baugh, who was 24, weds his college sweetheart Edmanya Smith in Sweetwater, Texas. 1943, actor Peter Cushing, 29, 43, which is 44 like the Archangels, by the way, and 29, which is 11, of course. He weds Violet Helene Beck in London, England. Famous deaths: Sam Kinison, Little Eva, and Richie Benaud. Richie Benaud was Australian. He was a cricketer and a commentator. He was the first player to reach 200 wickets and 2,000 runs in Test cricket. He has been described as the most influential cricket personality since World War II. He was born on October 6th in 1930 and was a Libra from Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. He died on April 10th in the year 2015 at the age of 84. Little Eva. Her full name was Eva Narcissus Boyd, and she was American, a pop singer best known for the song Locomotion. She was born on June 29th in 1943, so another 44 like the Archangels. She was a Cancer from Belhaven, North Carolina, USA. She died on April 10th in the year 2003 at the age of 59 of cervical cancer. Sam Kinison was American and a comedian, best known for his harsh humor and trademark scream. He was born on December 8th in 1953 and was a Sagittarius from Yakima, Washington, USA. He died on April 10th in 1992 at the age of only 38 in a car accident. 38 or 11, of course. And I don't remember him looking that young, but maybe because I was, when you're young, when you're a kid, everybody seems like they're 100. Sister Trinidad was really old, though, I promise you. Haley Joel Osment is American and an actor. He's famous for The Sixth Sense and Secondhand Lions. He was born on April 10th in 1988 and is 28 years old, and Aries from Los Angeles, California, USA. Steven Seagal is 66, and so I guess he's going to be 67 or 13 or 1111. He's American and an actor. He's known as the Navy SEALs counter-terrorist expert Casey Ryback in the 1992 film Under Siege. He was born on April 10th in 1951 and is 66 years old. I'm not even sure that was his best movie. I mean, I know he's kind of gone by the wayside, I guess, as they say. I think he's like a sheriff now or something, not even an actor, if I recall correctly. But I can't remember, never mind, because I can't remember what movie I think he's more famous for. He's an Aries, in any case, from Detroit, Michigan, USA. John Madden. You know who that is. I'm sure everybody who plays video games knows who John Madden is. He's American. He's a football coach and a sportscaster. He won the 1976 Super Bowl as head coach of the Oakland Raiders. After his coaching career, he became widely known as a color commentator for the NFL telecasts, paired with Pat Summerall and then Al Michaels, also widely known for the long-running Madden NFL video game series. Exactly. He was born on April 10th in 1936 and is 80 years old, and Aries from Austin, Minnesota, USA. Harry Morgan was American and an actor. He was famous for American TV and film, and he was also a director. He appeared in the TV show MASH and also Dragnet. He was born on April 10th in 1915 and was an Aries from Detroit, Michigan, USA. He died on December 7th in 2011 at the age of 96. He died in his sleep. That sounds like he had a long, full life. George Arliss, whose full name and real name was Augustus George Andrews, was English and an actor. He was the first British actor to win an Academy Award with his role as Benjamin Disraeli in Disraeli. This movie was from 1929. Arliss is also famous for his roles as Raja of Uruk in The Green Goddess in 1930 and the Duke of Wellington in The Iron Duke in 1934. He was born on April 10th in 1868 and was an Aries from London, England, United Kingdom. He died on February 5th in 1946 at the age of 77 of bronchitis. And lastly, Matthew C. Perry was American. He was the Commodore of the U.S. Navy. He forced Japan to open up to Western influence and trade by sailing his frigate Susquehanna into Tokyo Bay, an early example of gunboat diplomacy. He was born on April 10th in 1794. I was about to say 1974. Be in number dyslexic. 1794. He was an Aries from Newport, Rhode Island, USA. He died on March 4th in 1858, so another 11/11 at the age of 63. Cause of death was rheumatism that had spread to his heart, compounded by complications of gout and alcoholism. I thought rheumatism was arthritis. I never heard of arthritis of the heart. Maybe I'm wrong. In any case, he was the last of the birthdays and the last of the day's events. So I'm going to the dice. And I'm beginning with no. Okay. Weekend away. And spend money. Spirit says, stay in bed. Email. And eat cake. All right, going to the cards, we're beginning with the Knight of Earth, who is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It may be here representing the sign of Taurus, perhaps, because Mercury retrograde in Taurus will be one day old. Or maybe representing Virgo, because Mercury rules Virgo. It could be representing Capricorn as well. Whatever it's doing, the Knight of Earth is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. It's time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. Opening to Awakening with Archangel Gabriel. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. Keep it real. Okay? This is a 3, by the way, may have something to do with 3 people. Some sort of party of 3. Not necessarily romantic. And the Awakening card in the Angel Tarot is the Hanged Man. Major Arcana card, the Hanged Man. The Knight of Earth is back. Opening now to the 5 of Water. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped. Not seeing the positive in the situation and crying over spilled milk. This is the Oh Woe Is Me card, in my opinion. It's when we forget to count our blessings. The Knight of Earth back. I'll go one more. And it's me. The Queen of Air, who's independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. And may be here because of Mercury, like the Knight. The Queen of Air is a Gemini like myself, or perhaps an Aquarius like myself, or a Libra. Objective decision making, clearing away all that no longer serves you, seeing the humor in a situation. Knight of Earth, still back. Okay, I think we got these mixed up good. And we've come to the Chariot with Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower and public recognition. The Chariot represents the sign of Cancer or other water sign. It can be about movement, and victory, absolutely victory. So, and again, like it says here, an important achievement. It can be about transportation too, by the way. And the overall energy of the day, yeah, that was a raspberry. Is it blowing raspberries? Yeah, this sucks as an overall energy. It's the three of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. The need to forgive yourself and others. Oh, this is another three, by the way. So this may have something to do with the breakups that I was seeing earlier in the week, or the previous week rather. May have something to do with that. I said that in some cases they would certainly involve air signs, and it looks like that may still be the case. But on the positive side, the bright side, the masculine is the nine of water. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. You have a love of life. This is the yes card of the minor arcana. Prayers answered, wishes granted. Surrounded by the wheel with Archangel Michael, a time of positive change. A situation suddenly moves forward. Fortune is on your side. This is Major Arcana card, Wheel of Fortune. And in the masculine subconscious, it's Mercury, yet again, the ace of air, whose brilliant new ideas and inspirations, all about that, seeing the truth in a situation, and perhaps a challenging beginning. Again, maybe having something to do with this. And when I picked this up, underneath it is the five of air. So, it's in reverse, but it's near. So this situation may be stemming from something in which we had a hand. But on the positive side, yet again, it looks like it's something that we had that had to happen. So maybe the hand that we had in it is that we, like the ace of air or the queen of air that showed up here before, we cut something away out of our life. Maybe we cut something out of our life like a cancer, like you cut out a cancer, with the chariot having shown up here, again, representing the sign of Cancer. Maybe it was an actual breakup between an air sign and a water sign, and perhaps specifically Cancer of the water signs. And perhaps specifically Gemini of the air signs, since again, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. The feminine is the five of earth, fear surrounding money, the wisdom to accept help from others, and uncertain self-employment. Surrounded by the six of water, memories from your history or childhood, issues regarding children, and romanticizing the past. In our subconscious, the four of water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Crowned by the six of earth, gifts of money, time, or effort, new career opportunities, and receiving a loan or paying off debts. At the root, wow, it's the star with Archangel Jophiel. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. The star represents the sign of Aquarius, and it sits right here next to the ace of air. So this can be, like the air sign of the day. This showed up all week too in both of the weekly readings, if I remember correctly. This card very much so not only about communication, as all air signs are, but communication like via the internet and stuff like that, like electronic communication, the star. At the heart of the matter, the queen of water. Tenderhearted, empathetic, patient, and loving is the queen of water. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. This card for me, by the way, I didn't mention, represents both the signs of Libra and Taurus. And can be here because of, again, Mercury. ruling Gemini, but still affects in other air signs. Mercury in charge of all communication. All air signs are communicative, and again, the retrograde of Mercury is in Taurus. So this is probably why this is crowning us. And it looks like, similar to what I said last week, while there may be some breakups between water signs and air signs, it looks like some of us may be powering forward too. Although in some cases, the beginning being somewhat quote unquote challenging, but as I always say, it's a beginning nonetheless. Let's see if the next card is upright. It is. So let's clarify the Five of Earth, I guess. It's the Lovers with Archangel Raphael. Intimate relationships, carefully weigh your decisions, and good health. So this can mean a couple things from what I feel. This has to do with a heart versus head decision for some. Some are feeling abandoned by their quote-unquote beloved, left out in the cold, maybe because they're handling some business. It looks like some of us are handling some business. Some of us have to make a decision involving our children specifically. And it might be that thing of, can we afford to, leave the ex or our child's other parent or whatever? Can we afford to take the risk financially of divorce? Because some of us see that as, a risk, and we're afraid to take that leap of faith. That's what some of the feminine are going through right now. They're worried that they're going to be broke if they leave this man. Or how can they even come up with the money to attempt to leave him? They can't even pay for the divorce is what they're feeling in some cases, that coming through. And so what do we do? Because I have these kids too with them. So maybe I should be trying to stick this thing out even though, we're both miserable. Heart versus head. Your head is telling you, girl, you broke. You better stay put. And your heart is telling you, get out now. The next card is upright too. Can we do something we never did before and pull it in clarification of our overall energy, the Three of Air? Let's try that. It's ego, the devil, with Archangel Jophiel. So this, wow. Okay, it absolutely has to do with, a decision between two people and feeling bound, or I guess for some, not necessarily two people. Some people may feel more so bound to the money that they would have to, or that they feel they'd have to come up with and or leave in order to part ways with someone else who may be their child's other parent. I mean, it's not going to be that case with everybody. For some people, this Six of Water just represents, like an old soulmate from whom they need to part. And a soulmate can be in a couple of different, areas. It can be business, it can be love, it can be whatever. Maybe that's why money's involved. Can I split up with this business partner? Can I split up with this business? Can I leave this job? It's feeling bound with money at the root. And we saw this in the weekly reading too. So that's to clarify this. Never did that before, but glad I did. The next one's upright too, but I don't think we need any more clarifiers. I'm going to save it and move on to the romance cards before we run out of time. Trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. And opening two, it's safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. This is otherwise a pretty nice spread, actually. We got both wishes granted cards here on the table at the same time, the Nine of Water and the Star. And it's safe for you to love. We got, one of my favorite cards here, the Six of Earth, crossing the Six of Water. This is all about love and justice and fairness and equity and being equitable and giving and loving and open to receiving love too, which is hard for a lot of us. It's a difficult beginning. I never opened myself up before for love, for somebody to give it to me. I didn't know it was safe for me to love. Now Spirit coming through to tell you it is. Opening to unrequited love, representing this other person, from whom or to whom we feel bound and from whom we need to disconnect ourselves. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. Maybe that'll help you with your heart versus head decision. Those of you who have to make it, it's safe for you to love. I'm going to cut. Oop. Yep, past life relationship. They're gonna like drill this one into us. You've known each other before, so of course this is. I mean, again, this is about the previous situation that we had going on. Whatever it was, a family member, a parent, a child, our child's other parent, a job, a particular business partner, or whatever. It's not working out anymore, and we need to separate. The overall energy is pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And going to the Ascended Masters deck, beginning with Choose Peace. And opening to Health and Healing with Hilarion. Lover's card also about, maintaining your health too. That it's unhealthy to remain in some of these situations. Or, in any of these situations. Whether it's a friend, or something more. If it's not bringing you joy, any kind of benefit. It's not bringing any benefit to the higher good, to humanity. It's actually quite the contrary. It's causing you a block. Instead, it can cause you a block internally too in your system. It can cause like high blood pressure. It can cause clots and things like that. These kind of things really can affect our health. It's so much better for us to choose peace. See how this is opposite here, the health and healing? Health and Healing is back. And I'm into Artistic Expression with Paul the Venetian. Again, that being a way to approach some of these conversations in a lighthearted manner. We can bring up some of these topics and maybe get to, the heart of the matter. And relax and trust in the universe that the green man, has our back and our abundance is coming. And retreat into nature, and, to connect with it and maybe do your praying out there, although prayers are answered already. In this regard, if you're still holding on to a fear of lack of finances, Artistic Expression is back. I'll go one more. And it's yes, says Ganesh. He's saying, yes, I have knocked down the obstacles that were in your way before. So yes, you can move forward. Artistic Expression back. I'm going to cut. See the other person's point of view. And this can go either way. The masculine can be considering our point of view of why we're having a difficult time becoming unstuck and sort of bear with us on whatever he's going through, although it looks like his situation has improved, or at least on Monday he'll be it'll be a good day for him. We can be fair and just with him about his situation too, and about the other person that we're with, with whom we need to separate, whatever that situation is. Consider their point of view too, and how their life will improve when we fix whatever mess we have too. I love this. The overall energy is detached from drama, says Pallas Athena. She's saying, get out. Okay. So, further to add to what we had here, which for some is feeling lack of finances or material, and or worrying in advance about possible future lack of finances and the material. For others, having to do, with another energy, another person perhaps, or, again, something like a job or something. And can we afford to cut ties with them and still have money? The Lovers also, of course, represents the sign of Gemini. We cut ties very well. And it's about seeking and finding your joy. When you make this move, when you either heal and, repair a relationship that's not working or cut it away, like the Cancer it is, you will find your joy. That's the power of joy. It will overwhelm you. Expressing your love will also become a lot easier. And for some of you is the way to solve this problem. It's an expression of love, sometimes to part ways. We love each other enough to break up. We love each other enough to let one another go. We love each other enough to send the other on, on their way to, toward a better life, toward what they want, their dreams. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. Okay, further to that, masculine, yet again, just like they did in the weekly reading, Queen Oshun says, drink more water because you are going through ascension. And feminine, Hilarion is back with this health and healing. He really wants you on Monday to take your health seriously, take your healing seriously, and dispense with whatever drama this is. The angels say to the masculine, you've got some cutting away of your own to do. And maybe, again, that's why this beginning is going to be difficult, because it starts with cutting something out like a Cancer. But you got to do it. The Queen of Air can do it because she's independent, experienced, realistic, and witty. She looks at things differently than other people. Objective decision-making is what she's really, really good at. And she clears away all that no longer serves her. She doesn't hold on to any of it. Then she sees the humor in the whole situation, laughs it off. Laughter is the best medicine. So again, this is about staying healthy. Feminine, we're doing the oh, woe is me. Because we have to, actually take action. It's not just going away by itself. It's time to put on our big girl panties and just do what we have to do. Maybe for our children, if not for our sake. Maybe we want to see, when we're seeing the other person's point of view, maybe it's like see your child's point of view, and what this is doing to them. And maybe that will help to motivate you, to move you, like the Chariot, toward what you need to do. Things not turning out the way you hoped, not seeing the positive in the situation, and crying over spilled milk. Maybe, oh, woe is me, about the relationship that didn't work out and how much time you put into it, and all kinds of resentment, which is causing harm to you. So you've got to remember, again, your health. Masculine, yep, what you have to cut away is a past life relationship as well. And just like I told the feminine, it can be of any kind. It doesn't have to be romantic, although it may very well be. Whatever kind it is, it's harming you. It's causing you a block. Lord Ganesha wants to help you to knock down all those blocks. He says he has already. You just got to do your part now. And, here's how. Take the Queen of Air approach. And feminine, lastly, you. Just like you got in the weekly reading, trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. I hope that you guys enjoyed the daily. Namaste, angels.